I'm coming to you from Boston, where I teach at MIT. I brought a little video by way of introduction to show you my house, my kid, and how I'm experimenting with internet-connected everything around the house. And then I want to show you what I think it means for the future of transactions and how we will shop and bank in the future.
Enchanted objects are ordinary things that have the same functionality that they had before, except now they can talk. They're connected. These are ordinary things that have extraordinary capabilities.
When we're creating technology for the home, really we want to make something that's seamless and transparent, and that as opposed to having things sort of call out and draw your attention to it, make it a more ambient experience.
We'll just continue to behave with those everyday objects as we do in the world, and we can remain focused on connectivity between two people.
What we're seeing now is this proliferation of different devices that are, moving out from the cell phone and onto our bodies and into the world.
So in the middle of our living room is a coffee table that has Google Earth embedded in the coffee table. And I just found that having access to this amazing zoomable map completely changes how often we talk about travel and how often we talk about the world and how often we look up places that are mentioned. And it's nice to have this beautiful large reference object sitting in the middle of our living space. Our devices can be a lot simpler, and the interaction to them can be a lot simpler. The internet-connected umbrella can just be an umbrella that only shows whether it's going to rain. You don't need to tap on an icon or do anything that seems sort of artificial.
We come from a time in which we need to adapt to our homes and not the other way around. So what if our home could be a platform that we personalize and we customize? The key is, how do we create this ecosystem, these technologies that allow us to move from one experience to the other in the most seamless, most magical way.
Some people might think that a connected home is overwhelming, that there'll be so much information in a connected home that it's just a cacophonous environment and you wouldn't want to live there. But I think about how we decorate our homes today. We put photographs everywhere, we put paintings up, we put Post-it notes up. There's a lot of decoration and adornment in the home. And I think if enchanted objects can be designed in the right way, we're going to want hundreds of them around us.
I think what we're going to see is a new renaissance where designers as well as computer scientists are going to really make a really big impact in the type of technology that we see in the home.
The history of computers has mostly been about efficiency. I think one of the things that's changing is that enchanted objects can be about adding motion and add magic to the fabric of our everyday lives and experiences.
So one of the things that I noticed, sort of the big aha for me about what's happening with Internet of Things, is cameras are becoming the Uber sensor for Internet of Things. When we made the Amazon trash can that knows what you've thrown away in the home and restocks your house, it's sort of the idea of supply chain management for your house, right? The big thing that we were able to use was a little sticky camera that connected to Wi-Fi and connected to your Amazon account and could just restock your house, right? So this idea that there are cameras and computer vision are really changing almost every Internet of thing. So I want to walk you through some ideas of where these cameras are appearing and how it will change payments and shopping, all right? So this is the trash can that just has the camera on the inside. Now, everyone is taking photos volitionally, right? Through Instagram and Tumblr and Twitter. There will be 1.8 billion photos that are shared today on social media. Isn't that incredible? 1.8 billion photos that are being taken intentionally and shared. But I think one of the big changes that's happening is these cameras are going from intentional to passive, right? These cameras are being embedded in trash cans, in clothing, in TVs, in retail environments all around the city. And what we have now with all of these photos is this huge deluge of photography that can become something that we can use computer vision to process and to take all this unstructured data and make it structured. Oh, good. So the phones, we sort of have phones to thank for all these cheap cameras, right? And so these eyes are getting atomized and put into more things to make photos not only something you take intentionally and share, but something that's passively taken. Homes, offices, and cities can see. TVs recognize gestures. Baby monitors have full spectrum camera that can look at heart rate, for example, or heart rate variability to understand stress. Billboards can measure what's being seen. I just installed some hunting cameras for my dad. Remember, Tolkien talks about trees that can see. I just put cameras on some trees, and we got a shot of this in the middle of the night. Sort of crazy that like now he knows where to find the beavers. There's some pens that disguise cameras in their tips, so they store every gesture, and they also timestamp it with audio, so you can get back to the point in the lecture that you care about by tapping your notes. One of my students put a camera in the tip of a paintbrush, so you can sample the world. Another student has a startup that's putting cameras in light bulbs with pico projectors. So you can just screw in a light bulb and it can do a data projection as well as see what's underneath, which gives you the ability to gesture basically at anything, and means that all light can have digital shadows, can see what's underneath the light, whether it's food or whatever is cast under the light. I'm an advisor to the startup in California that's doing mirrors for Neiman Marcus and Uniqlo stores, so that they can not only help you see multiple versions of outfits and gesture to see the fairest of them all, back from the fairy tale, but you can also change the color of things based by gesture. And like any magic mirror, it has the critical feature of being able to see your ass. All of our drones are getting cameras. They're basically selfie sticks. There's a ball that's being made by a Boston startup which has cameras everywhere, and it does a real-time stitching of all of those cameras, so you can throw it around the corner for a SWAT team and figure out what's around the corner in a critical first responder situation. There's a startup in California that puts a camera on the inside of an oven. Once you hear about this, you think, why don't all of our ovens, not burn the cookies or whatever you have inside? Ovens should be able to see what's inside and know if it's done. There's an Indiegogo project about a plate that measures the food and then also uses computer vision to read what the hell you're eating. Samsung is trying to get out of making metal boxes and getting into the supply chain management business. Maybe they'll do it themselves, maybe through Amazon. Cameras are swallowable. We're embedding them on everything around us. I've been wearing a camera just to freak you out on my suit here. How many people noticed it? Anybody? Nobody noticed my camera. Huh. Well, it's a life logging camera that automatically takes a photo every 30 seconds. So basically I can shop out of these photos of anything that I saw at the Dubai Mall yesterday, right? I just walk around. I can see, a flip book is made of my experience of the day, and I can notice how much I'm walking, how much I'm snacking, or or the good-looking tie that guy's wearing. You can just click and buy that tie. So that's what's happening. And here's what I think is the consequence of that, is that all of these photos that are being shared, either intentionally or passively, need to be read, right? Like, who's going to sit there and look at all of your photos, of your flip book of the day? So I started a company that just is in this image recognition, computer vision business to read every photo on social. So today we look at every photo and we find thousands of brands, objects, cats and dogs, motorcycles, the context in which people are using things, whether it's at the beach or indoors or at a bar. If you want to see a real-time demo of what's being shared right now on social, you can go to streamditto.com and choose a category like candy or alcohol or ice cream to see what's being shared. So how is this being used? Well, there are auto companies that want to find who are all the truck owners in Tennessee, or insurance companies that want to find what's insurable in your photos, right? He just got a new boat. That sounds like there's an opportunity for an insurance company. There's also the ability with these deep learning networks, which is really the most exciting thing happening at MIT and lots of other schools in computer science, to automatically not only classify the stuff in the photos, but the texture of the photos. Like, is it alluring? Is it exciting? Is it memorable? So tourism boards want to find what's the most memorable photo of Dubai? What's the one that's really going to get people to come? And you can automatically classify everybody's hashtag Dubai Burj Khalifa photos, not by hashtag, but which are the persuasive ones that you should repost on social. So you can find out, construction companies can find out if people are wearing hard hats automatically in these photo streams, or the most alluring shot for your dating profile, or whether LG, actually Samsung is working with us on this, find me the people who just shattered their phone so that they can swoop in and do an offer for a different new Galaxy phone. So these photos are being used by brands to understand how are people using products in the real world, how are they doing against competitors on social, and who are the real audiences for any product, for chocolate, for Manchester United, for whatever your passions are. But here's what I think it means, and this is really the meat of why this is important to the payments industry, which is these photos will become the way most of us discover and consume products and experiences. Not through stores, but through the social streams of our friends. And the big disruptor here is because user-generated content is what is consuming all of our time and attention on social media these days. Look at what kids are consuming. It's not only Angry Birds or Twitch games, but it's your friends' photos. That's what's really consuming our attention. So just imagine when computer vision can make your friends' photos hyperlinkable. You can donate to that cause you see in the photo. You can watch the game highlights from that thing. You can go to the place. You can learn about whatever. So this is good if you're a sunglasses company, right, or a glasses company, Warby Parker, because you want people to say, oh, I'm inspired by my friend's photo, and I'd like to shop similar glasses. Or if you sell game seats like SeatGeek, you want to see your baseball photos so I can say, hey, I would go to a game like that guy. Or shop your friends' experiences like stand-up paddleboards from eBay, or go to the beach from Expedia, or that open table, reserve that meal, or Hotel Tonight, or Apple Music, or Fandango to preview a poster that you see, or shop for those crazy pants, or borrow that car on a ride-sharing service. You see what I mean? So this is your friend's photo stream that becomes actionable. That's the big disruption. So here's a quick app that we just put together that basically takes those are my Instagram photos on the left and my friend's Instagram photos that match on the right, which is, I think of this as a social proof machine. There's a behavioral economics concept called social proof. It basically means if your friend does something, it's a tacit recommendation and permission for you to do the same thing. So this should be Samsung Pay, right? Like this is like if Uber is about making transportation easy by nesting and making the credit experience seamless, this is what shopping will become, which is you do a thing, your friends do a similar thing, and it inspires you to do something similar. And the payment should be transparent. I can't figure out a way to make this less than a $500 million business. I have a model, I keep discounting it and discounting it and discounting it. Shopping through your friends' photos is going to be a big, big opportunity. So in conclusion, how did we get here again? How did we get to this clickable, shoppable photos thing again? Well, first, cameras leapt into phones, you remember that, and gave us user-generated content. Social networks became flooded with these photos and became photo sharing sites. Low-cost data plans, thanks to telcos, thank you very much telcos, made us not worry about sharing all these photos all the time. Computer vision gave us structure on this UGC. So now I can recognize his tie or his boat or his game picks. Thank you IBM and Google and Amazon for giving us a cloud that's really cheap so you can process all these photos. We're heating up 400 Amazon servers right now to process all of social media with 16 GPUs per head. And then what's happening next is rather than actually volitionally taking photos and sharing them on social, we're going to be taking photos with our clothing, which give us this vicarious experience and even more content. And then if you appreciate affiliate models, it means that if I buy baseball tickets because he posted a baseball ticket, he gets 5%. It's his God-given right to get 5% for directing traffic to StubHub. And same for him with OpenTable, and same for him with Expedia. So the business model for this is already plumbed, done, right? So it's already in place. So the prediction, and I don't know exactly how fast it's happening, but I'm sure if you're in this room, you can probably influence this, is that every social photo stream becomes actionable and shoppable and transactable. So we're building a classifier store, a vision store, so you can say, I'm interested in shopping for this particular type of item or this particular experience. And then we have an API so that anybody can push photos en masse at an API, and we can say, this is exactly what's in the photo. Thank you very much. I'd love to take questions in the lounge in the next room. Thank you.